What's up? So, Blackout Garage is back, and not used to recording and talking to the camera anymore, so I'm trying to get eased back into it. But essentially, we're going to be working on a 67. We're going to be doing brakes, got the front rotors, brake pads, bearings. Essentially what happened is I did the D52 Willwood swap a few months ago, and the brakes still squeak like crazy. The reason is the rotors that are on there are the original rotors that I did back in 2012, 2013 I think, and that was when I was like 15 years old. So cut them several times, and I don't think I can cut them again. So we're gonna go and just replace them completely. New pads, we're gonna grease up all the bearings and everything, have them nice and packed, just to get a more quiet and enjoyable ride. Obviously these cars aren't built to be quiet, but I just want to sound safe. If there's anything that I want to listen to, it's going to be the sound of the exhaust and the engine and everything else. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. It's going to be a little messy, so I'm going to try to record the best that I can, but let's do it. Hop them over here. Got the wheels off. Now I already got the caliper off too. And let's see, we're gonna go ahead and get this nut off. I already broke it loose. These ones, as far as I know, when you tighten them, build tension to where like the rotor like gets really hard to turn. Not really hard, but like you feel it bind a little bit. And then from there you go a quarter turn back. That's kind of what I've always done. I mean, I've seen people do it multiple ways before, but this time I'm gonna make sure there's like no play at all, and make sure that crown nut is on there to spec. Make sure that we're not getting any chatter from the bearings or, you know, excessive wear that is unnecessary because I didn't tighten it correctly. So we're gonna take our time and do this right from start to finish. And there we go. We're just getting the little washer out of there. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna pull all this shit out. We're gonna pack the new bearings and everything, do the new rotor on. I'm gonna re-grease all the stuff on the caliper hardware wise. These D52s didn't come with anything that goes in the middle right here, and my 81 has the same setup and they didn't come with any hardware that goes in the middle, so I don't think there's hardware that goes there that's causing any issues, at least what I think. So like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get this all disassembled and start reassembling the new stuff so we can throw it all on and brake clean everything so this thing is just super shiny. And then I think I might have messed up. So if you look at the banjo bolt, it was leaking, right? It almost looks like the one right here going to the bolt, that washer, it almost looks like there's two on there. So I might have had a blonde moment and fucked up and put two washers on there, or left the old one on there and then put the new one on without paying attention. So I gotta inspect further and make sure that that's not what happened, because that would be pretty stupid of me if it did. But shit happens. This is part of the game. You live and learn, and hopefully you don't die in the process. So let's get to it. Okay, now we got the pads, the caliper all cleaned up, the hardware all lubed up as well. I got it right over here somewhere, right there actually. So the way the original ones were on there had that noise, I guess the meter on the back end, and then this one up in the front. Only really goes one way because this little notch will fit in the tongue, or that tongue will fit in this notch here. So once we get here, and I already sprayed and wiped down the rotors with a brake clean and a cloth. Let's get you on there, bitch. Aha, I see what's going on here. So these little notches right there, little ears, fit in a little tiny groove in there. These ones do not. So what good old Teats is gonna do is I'm gonna go to the grinder, shave these off, and then pop this bitch back in. I really don't want to use these pads, not because there's anything wrong with them. I just rather use all new shit, to be honest. So let's go figure out how to get this shit fitted on. You see here, I went ahead and shaved this down quite a bit. See, look at that compared to this one, how thick it is. Took out about 1/8 of an inch. We're gonna do the same thing here. It's just a comparison of how much I've shaved off. So we're gonna do the same thing for the other pads, since It's almost inevitable. So I'm going to knock this out. Like I said, I'm using the files at this point. Just want to be nice and tedious because, you know, good things never came easy. Okay, so we got the calipers and the rotors assembled. Spins nice and freely. Obviously we gotta break it in and all that stuff, but we're gonna have to bleed it eventually, so I'm gonna leave the wheels off here. I'm going to set up the jack and then go to the other side and start repeating the process all over again. And then hopefully I can bleed it by this afternoon. If I still have enough daylight, I'll take it out and do the break-in process. If not, I'll do that tomorrow morning. And yeah, we're making progress, so I'm really happy with that. Got everything lubed up super well. The little notches in the brake pad fit good into the caliper now, so super stoked about that. But yeah, we're getting there, one side at a time. And then luckily when it leaked fluid, it wasn't all the way down, it was about halfway, so I topped it off. But obviously we still got to bleed everything just to make sure, so we'll get there when we get there. Okay, so now we're doing the passenger side. We already removed the rotor and everything, kind of cleaned up the hardware a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is get some sandpaper. I don't know if I recorded it on the other side or not, so I'm just gonna do it now. But pretty much we're gonna clean up the face of this. As you can see, it looks like at one point I just sprayed spray paint on the fucking on the shield at some point, so overspray got on this. I mean, it's not terribly detrimental to the actual system of how this works, but I'm just gonna clean it up. I'm already here. Get a super clean surface, so when we pack the bearings for this side, which I got over here, well, I got them somewhere, we'll be able to bolt everything on. And these calipers are not leaking, so that's good. But like I said, I'm going to bleed both sides after I'm done, just to make sure everything is properly working, and I don't want to have to run into any other issues later. So like I said, clean this up, sandpaper a little bit, just to clean up the face, and then should be good. Bled the brakes. I adjusted the push rod on the master cylinder going to the, to this fucking thing. Can't even think of the name right now. The brake booster to the master cylinder, my bad. Whatever push rod is in there. I backed it up about, I want to say 1/8 of an inch, if not 1/16, very little amount. Just so there's less brake pressure being applied to the front brakes, because before I noticed it was binding a little bit. And with the original brakes it was fine, but once I put these bad boys on, I think it was applying too much pressure. So we want zero pressure being applied when the brake pedal is not being used, right? So I backed it up. I'm going to turn on the car first, see how it does in the backyard. If I notice that the pedal goes too far down, then I will move up that push rod a few threads. And then yeah, it'll be time for some testing. Unfortunately, I do not have a suction cup mount for this vehicle yet, but I have this handy dandy handheld tripod thing, so I'll try to make the best of it. So I'll go ahead and jump this thing, get it started, make sure there's no leaks. Once I can confirm there's no leaks, we'll go ahead and try taking this thing outside. So far so good. I haven't crashed. Shifting good. It's stopping good, which is my most important part of all this, is making sure the bitch stops. But before I go any further, I'm gonna pull over real quick, check to see if I have any leaks. I don't feel like I have any leaks, but like I said, I just want to make sure. So like I said, just pull over a little bit right here, and let's see what we're looking at. Buckle. So, a little hot, but no leaks, not even moisture, so that's good. Looks fucking great. I don't know what the fuck happened. Both of my taillights were working when I tested them the other day, but no, they're not. So I think it might be because the circuit's not being completed with that other, man, what the fuck is going on over here? Look at this fucking guy. Doing pretty solid with the Camaro. So far, so good. So amazing, and like I said, she is stopping, which is fantastic. Downshift. All right, we're good, and we are going down here. I don't hear any squeaking. I don't hear any like humming or anything like that. Like just chill, which is great. Which is what I want. I wanted it nice, quiet, doing what it needs to do, not binding. So super stoked about that. Yeah, awesome. We did it. We didn't die. Brakes are not leaking from the calipers, and they smell like they made it pretty well. And you can usually smell the brake dust or the pads mating to the rotors and stuff. So it's good. We'll call it a day. Close up the cars and then drive this bitch again tomorrow. So it should be fun.